Defendant Lyle Menendez. Ms. Lansing, you may continue.
Thank you.
And for the record, Mr. Byrd is a little late this
And how often would you talk to your father every week?
2 or 3 times a week.
And would these be short telephone conversations or would they be long?
Usually pretty long, describing everything that was going on
Now,
that day or that week.
When you say pretty long, how long do you mean? I mean, is long to you 10 minutes or a half an hour? Or?
Like an hour and a half, hour.
And you told us earlier about how you, when you were younger, had to report at the dinner table in a very detailed manner about your day. Do you remember telling us that?
Yes.
And is this the same as these phone conversations with your dad during this period of time, or was it different?
It was the same, but a little more detail as to what was going on since he wasn't there.
And what type of detail would he ask you about?
Just exactly who I was in contact with, much more detail about my actual classes, school work than we did when I was in high school, and he pretty much didn't care as much. More detail as to who I was and whether I was spending my time at Terry's, what friends I had around me or not, you know, how much time I was devoting to different things. A little more detail, I think.
Did he continue to question you about your tennis game?
Yes.
And with the same degree of detail that he had before, or?
The same, yeah.
And during this period from 1986 to 1989, how often would you speak to your mother on the phone, on an average?
Maybe twice a week, not as often. She would call a lot more often, but I wouldn't talk to her.
Why not?
I would be at my Aunt Terry's most of the days, and she would just call several times a day.
Would just call and say?
Several times a day she would call, at least it seemed like it was several times a day.
And would she ask you what was going on in your life in the same way, or were your conversations different with her?
They were much different, just reporting something my dad wanted me to know, letting me know when my dad was available to talk.
And when you say letting you know when your dad was available to talk, you mean scheduling your talks with your father, that type of thing?
Yes.
During this period of time, 1986 to 1989, did you speak with your brother regularly on the phone?
Yes.
And was it the same over this period of time, or did it change? I mean, did you always speak to him with the same degree of frequency from 1986 to 1989? Or?
I spoke to him a lot in the fall of '86. I spoke to him less in the spring of '87.
So how would you know when it was okay to eat the food?
We would just rely on my dad. His feeling of me being the major problem in her life, but it was more frequent.
These things to you, that she hates you and that you've ruined her life. How did you feel?
I felt just confused, and
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt. I wanted to help her, and I wanted her to know that it wasn't that I loved my dad more, that I loved her and my brother loved her, and if She seemed like she wanted to stay in Princeton. That seemed to make her happy, and that we would, in a divorce, side with her and stay in Princeton. And that, because that seemed to be what was causing her to want to kill herself, was the divorce. And I wanted her to know that her family would be with her.
Did you ever say to her, Mom, you know you're upset about Louise, it's not my fault?
No.
During this period of time from 1986 to 1989, did it seem like your parents knew a lot about your life?
And I think they knew almost everything about what was going on in my life.
And is this partly because of all the telephone conversations and seeing each other so much and you being asked all these questions?
Partly, yeah.
And is it partly because of something else?
Yes.
Did you later find out that they were doing something that would give them more information about you and your brother?
Yes, the phones were tapped. My brother.
Father seemed to have lost control over your mother. Is that correct?
Yes.
Had he become somebody who was weak and frightened and had no power?
No, my dad was never weak.
Would you...
Thought he could do no wrong.
Was...
And his connections allowed him to do business with, like Morris Levy, who was a guy that owned a chain of video stores in Boston area. And he was my understanding was he was a gangster.